battle about gas stoves is heating up. The stoves have come under fire as new studies show they may be more dangerous than initially thought. Some cities and some states have moved to ban them. Take this, for example. A study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health reports that almost 13% of childhood asthma in the U.S. can be attributed to gas stove use. The stove emits air pollutants like methane and nitrogen oxides that can cause respiratory diseases for kids, and it also inflames illnesses in adults as well. Well, today, lawmakers in Washington, D.C. talked about stoves. Republicans are looking to pass two bills which would prevent any future bans, and they're not expected to pass in the Democratic-controlled Senate. So let's take a look at where both parties stand.
This administration has a war on gas stoves.
Heating up on the House floor, a debate over gas stoves, ignited over GOP concerns that the federal government wants to restrict or even ban them.
It's an issue of consumer choice. It's an issue of affordability.
Washington State Republican Dan Newhouse points to bans at the local level, like the one recently enacted in New York, a victory for climate advocates and those worried about indoor air quality. Newhouse believes a new proposed efficiency standard by the Department of Energy could block the sale of many gas cooking appliances nationwide.
This is an incremental step in moving the country away from a source of energy that we desperately, vitally need.
The Department of Energy argues the proposals are intended to boost energy efficiency for new products and would not go into effect until 2027. The agency emphasizes it's not trying to do away with gas stoves.
Well, I don't think we should ban gas stoves, but we're not talking about banning gas stoves. It's not real.
Florida Democrat Jared Moskowitz thinks the issue is a smokescreen. He graduated from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, the scene of a 2018 shooting massacre.
We've not had one hearing on school safety, not one hearing on school safety, multiple hearings on how some boogeyman is going to come to your house and take your gas stove.
All right, so let's take a closer look at where gas stove bans are currently in place. Just last month, New York became the first state to ban natural gas, including gas stovetops, in any new developments or buildings. It is the first state to pass this law, but other cities have passed their own. Both Berkeley and San Francisco in California banned new gas stove hookups in new buildings. Now, here in North Carolina, lawmakers are working to make sure a gas stove ban does not go into place. A bill currently going through the state house would forbid any bans on a state or city level. The goal of the legislation is to give more choices to consumers. The bill passed in the House, then the Senate, and is now back in the House for lawmakers to approve changes. Governor Cooper vetoed a similar bill back in 2021. At the time, he released a statement which reads in part, "This legislation undermines North Carolina's transition to a clean energy economy that is already bringing in thousands of good-paying jobs." Well, it's not just the health concerns behind some of the bans. The experts say gas stoves can also harm the environment.
So Gipper let researchers from Stanford turn his Denver home into a makeshift science lab.
A lot of big fancy boxes.
Previous Stanford research found leaks from gas stoves alone produce planet-warming pollution equal to 500,000 gas-powered cars each week. Natural gas can also raise levels of nitrogen dioxide, potentially causing respiratory issues, including asthma.
When you guys went in there and turned on the burners, how quickly did that reach a limit that's considered unhealthy?
It took about 6 minutes for the nitrogen dioxide level to reach that EPA threshold.
Those concerned about gas stoves may switch to electric. Business owners and natural gas companies say it's just not that easy. It's expensive and could be the end of some businesses.
You change the cooking style, you change the makeup of the product itself. I can't see any legitimate chef out there turning to electric. I don't see it.
Really?
I don't see it, Ben.
So at the end of the day, this is a very expensive proposition for very little environmental gain.
Cooking with gas is not cheap either, especially for restaurants. They use more natural gas than homes. As the price of gas rises, restaurant owners are forced to just figure it out.
We've seen an increase of about 30 to 40% in our gas prices. And, you know, that may not sound like a lot, but, you know, you're talking about $300 or $400 on $1,000.
I guess it's an expense we have to take because we need the stuff.
If you're sticking with the gas stove, there are some things you can do to make sure that you're cooking the safest and in the most efficient way.
Use it with your exhaust fan on. If you don't have an exhaust fan and you have a window nearby where you could crack it open temporarily to really allow some of that to get out of your house.
You can keep your stove in great shape by cleaning up spills quickly, making sure the flame is blue.
That means everything's working as it should. If it's burning yellow or orange, that's a pretty good indicator that you might have a clogged burner or something wrong with one of the burner tubes.
And if you really just don't like electric and you want to switch from gas, induction could be your thing. They are the latest cooking range technologies. Here's how it works.
Induction uses an oscillating magnetic field to actually transfer energy directly from the element to the pan. The result is it's much more efficient and it heats up faster too.
Induction cooktops cook food more quickly, adjust better to temperature changes, and take no time at all to cool down when they're turned off. The downside? Not all cookware works with it, but it's not like you're going to have to buy all new pots and pans.
It's true that induction only works with magnetic cookware, but that really isn't as limiting as it sounds. Cast iron, most stainless steel, even an enameled cast iron Dutch oven all work. If you're not sure, stick a magnet to your pan. If the magnet sticks to it, it's going to work with induction.
According to Consumer Reports, this Frigidaire earns top scores for low and high heat cooking, plus very good scores for baking. And it costs thousands less than many of the other recommended inductions in CR's ratings. Now, if you're not ready to replace your range just yet, but you might want to look at testing out induction with a portable cooktop.
Portable induction cooktop is a really good option if you routinely entertain or find yourself without enough free burners on your stove.
And bottom line, gas stoves are not going to disappear immediately. WFMY News 2 at 6 is next.